Hello students, hope all are fine and safe. Children, welcome back to the class. Today in this session, we will discuss the 6th chapter from your Honeydew text. This is Geordie's Fawn. Let us see what are the points we need to discuss today. First of all, I will tell you about the author. The second, introduction of the chapter, explanation of part 1 and 2 today in this session, and part 3 and the textual grammar will be discussed in the next class. So children, here you can see the image of Marjorie Kennan Rawlings. She was born on August 8, 1896. She was an American author who lived in rural Florida and wrote novels with rural themes and settings. Her best known work, The Yearling, about a boy who adopts an orphan fawn, won a Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 1939 and was later made into a movie of the same name. The book was written long before the concept of young adult fiction, but is now commonly included in teen reading list. Encouraged by her editor at Scribner's, Maxwell Perkins, who was impressed by the letters she wrote him about her life in Cross Creek, Rawlings began writing stories set in the Florida scrub country. In 1930, Scribner's accepted two of her stories, Cracker Chidlings and Jacob's Ladder, both about the poor backcountry Florida residents who were quite similar to her neighbors at Cross Creek. Local reception to her stories was mixed between puzzlement concerning whom she was writing about and rage, since one mother apparently recognized her son as the subject in a story and threatened to whip Rawlings until she was dead. Her first novel, South Moon Under, was published in 1933. The book captured the richness of Cross Creek and it was telling a story of a young man. So these were a few books which I am showing you here, written by Marjorie Kennan Rawlings. She died on December 14, 1953. Children, this lesson, The Geordie's Fawn by Marjorie Kennan Rawlings, revolves around the fawn whose mother was killed to use its liver and heart to extract poison out of Geordie's father, Penny, and save his life after a snake bite. The lesson takes you through Geordie's journey from finding the fawn till taking it home with him. So children, as I told you, this movie, The Yearlings, also is similar to this Geordie's Fawn. So children, as I told you, The Yearling is a novel by Marjorie Kennan Rawlings, published in March 1938. It was the main selection of the Book of the Month Club in April 1938. It was the best-selling novel in America in 1938 and the 7th best in 1939. It sold over 250,000 copies in 1938. As I told you, the publishers were Charles Scribner's sons. So this was about the introduction of the chapter. Now as you can see in the textbook, this chapter is there on page number 87 and it concludes on page number 94. So today we will discuss part 1 and part 2, and part 3 and textual grammar we will continue in the next class, that is Saturday. Also we have got a class together. At that time I will continue the chapter. As of now, only part 1 and part 2. Geordie's father, Penny, was bitten by a rattlesnake. He quickly killed a doe. Then he used the doe's heart and liver to draw out the poison. Geordie saw that the doe's baby, a little fawn, was left alone. Geordie talks to Penny. So he discusses with Penny what has to be done with the baby, that is the fawn, the deer's baby. The thought of fawn kept on haunting Geordie's mind. He quietly went to his father's bedside. He asked him how he was feeling. Then he asked him to think about the fawn. He asked him to permit him to bring the fawn home. Geordie wanted to raise the fawns, that is, wanted to raise the fawn. So at first Penny was in a dilemma. Geordie argued that raising the fawn would not be a burden. Fawn could drink Geordie's the share of his milk which was given to him, and Geordie also said that his family was responsible for the fawn's plight. Penny agreed that it would be ungrateful to leave the fawn to starve. So he gave Geordie permission. He asked him to tell his mother about it before going to bring the fawn. Geordie came to the table and sat down very quietly. His mother was pouring coffee in the cups. She was taken aback when Geordie spoke about bringing the fawn home. Seeing the mother reluctant, Geordie told what his father had said. He said that Penny had told it would be ungrateful to leave the fawn to starve in the forest. So next, Dr. Wilson and Melville help Geordie and they take him to the forest. Before Geordie's mother, Ma Baxter, could say anything, Dr. Wilson spoke. He told Geordie's mother that nothing in the world comes quite free of cost. He meant that they must pay some price for having taken the life of the doe. Here the price was to raise the fawn. Melville chipped in. He offered to take Geordie on his horse to the forest. Geordie's mother felt helpless. She only told Geordie that he could give fawn milk. She would not give him anything else to feed the fawn. Melville mounted his horse. He sat and Geordie sat behind him on the horse. Geordie assured his mother, Ma Baxter, that he would be back before dinner. Now, Melville asked Geordie how he knew that the fawn was a male. Geordie to this replied that the spots on the fawn were all in line. This indicated that the fawn was a male. So that was part 1, children. Now we will understand part 2 of the chapter. Once in the forest, once Geordie reached the forest, he wanted Melville to go back. He wanted to be alone with the fawn. There were 2 reasons. First, it was possible that Geordie might not get the fawn, for the fawn might have died or it may not be found. In that case, he would not like Melville to see his disappointment. Secondly, if he met the fawn, the meeting would be very lovely and secret. He would not like to share it with anyone else. So Melville goes back. And Geordie asks Melville to go back, and Geordie is left all alone in the forest. He said that the shrub was too thick for the horse to get through. Melville was, however, afraid to leave Geordie alone. He said that Geordie could be lost in the forest or bitten by the snake. Geordie said Melville need not worry about him. He would be careful. So Melville left Geordie in the forest and he goes back. So here, children, this chapter, that is part 3, will be concluded. Before that, let me tell you once again, I will brief you this part 1 and part 2. So as I told you, what is a fawn? Fawn is a baby deer, that is the young one of the deer. And I told you that in this lines I told you, Geordie's father Penny was bitten by a rattlesnake, and he quickly killed a doe and used the doe's heart and liver to draw out the poison. There, Geordie feels very sad that the fawn is left all alone in the forest, and he takes permission from his father to go back to the forest and get the fawn and take care of the fawn. His mother is reluctant to send him, but somehow he takes his mother's permission as well, and he goes into the forest with Melville, and there he starts searching for the fawn. So let us check in our next session whether Geordie finds the fawn, and if he finds the fawn, how he is taking care of the fawn. We will understand in the next session. Thank you, children.